Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Moo Trades. Hope you guys are enjoying the videos, loving the content. If you guys are new, we're about to go over some of the live trades I took today. So let's dive right in. And this was the first trade setup that I took today. We had a triple top test at the high of the range, followed by a break and a new high of the upper uptrend right here. Break, followed by a new high. And we had several tests followed by a bearish bar. And even though we were going into the EMA, I knew that this trade would go at least for a scalp with a very high probability, and it ended up working out. Unfortunately, we did not get a runner, but the next trade I took ended up being a great runner, and we're about to see it in just 1 second. But on these range days, we just always have to look for breaks of mini uptrends like this, followed by new tests at the extreme, signaling that the uptrend is over, followed by all these bars testing the highs. And once we had a final bearish bar right here, I was confident to go short. Let's get into the next trade now. And the next trade I took was kind of just following the same sort of thinking as the previous trade. Following the very bearish bar at the top of the range, we had one push below the EMA, followed by a lower high, as we see here, followed by a second push by the bears, and another attempt to test EMA, followed by a bearish bar, completing the failed second entry long. So we're coming from this high, we went down once, we had a first entry long, we went down again, second entry long. So all the people who went long, they got trapped as soon as this bearish bar formed and the next bar closed below it, because it turned into a failure of the second entry long. We almost did get stopped out by the next bar, but as we'll see in a second, it just added even more selling pressure to this trade, and we actually did end up getting a runner. So you guys are going to see how I manage the runners as well. We kept pushing down. And the way I trail the runners is I don't trail my stop loss, as we see up here, until we have a pullback and then we break below that pullback, especially because in a healthy trading range like the one we see here, we're going from the highs down to the lows, back up to the highs. So I'm expecting prices to at least go to the bottom of the trading range, but I do want to lock in as many profits as possible. So as soon as we get a pullback like the one we see here, I really like to trail the stop. Now, the reason I didn't put it above this bullish bar yet is because no bar had broken below it just yet. And it was actually a smart move because we ended up testing the EMA once again before pushing down, which allowed me to move my stop loss one tick above this bearish bar. But like I said, I should not have actually trailed this because the next bar hadn't broken below it. And luckily I did move it up before relowering it once prices pushed down once again, as we see right there. This is because all of the traders who are gonna get trapped eventually on the short side, they don't get trapped unless the next bar breaks below the bearish one. So that's why I wanted to raise my stop loss to ensure that if we did keep pushing down, then I would have just enough room to allow for my stop loss to not get stopped out. And we see prices did keep going down, and I ended up with a decent runner, all things considered, about almost 8-9 points, I believe. But price action works, and we did end up slowly pushing down throughout the day. It was a very bearish day, but following these rules, watching these videos, practice makes perfect. So let's catch up on the next trade. And the next trade we are going to look at is a textbook second entry short at the EMA, expecting a new low of this downtrend, We had this strong downtrend, a break, and no new low yet, so we do not have any reason to believe that the downtrend was over. Also, prices were trending down for the entirety of the day, and even though we were at these lows, because we had kept making lower lows or lower highs following going from the top of this trading range, as we see, we went to this high, we couldn't even reach the top of the trading range. We went lower again, we went lower. We had an attempt to reach the top of the trading range, which did not work, and this just all gave me more reasons to go short, and yeah, let's hop into the next trade. And this was the final trade I took of the day. It was actually a lower high, confirming the second entry short that I had just taken. Once again, for all of the reasons I mentioned, I was confident that prices would keep going lower, especially because we had been going down for almost. And the next trade I took was actually a lower high that confirmed the second entry short. And I was very confident that prices would remain in this downward trajectory because of all the reasons I previously mentioned. It was a little bit late into the day, but because we had had so many attempts by the bulls to go higher, that did not work out. And we had all of this selling pressure, a second entry short, followed by a lower high, perfect bearish bar. It was at these prices where there was buying pressure, but as we stated, the reasons to go short heavily outweigh the reasons to not. And this trade did end up going, prices did end up going very low. I should have maybe trailed my runner a little bit more closely, but I think my method where I only trail my stop loss once there's a swing back up followed by a break to the downside really allows me to catch the really, really big runners up to 20, 30, maybe even 40 points sometimes. That's been my biggest one of all time. But as we see, if I had been trailing my stop loss just behind each bar, I would have got stopped out right around here. But because I did not and I wanted to wait for a break to the downside following a pullback, hoping that prices would continue to even go down further, I only ended up getting a runner of about 1.25 points, which is the same amount that I scalp. But nevertheless, I'll take a winning trade any day of the week. And here we do end up getting stopped out. But that's going to wrap up the video. I really appreciate all you guys supporting the channel. Leave me a like. Leave me some comments. If you guys have any questions, I'll be sure to respond to them. And I hope you guys have a good one. Peace out.